We bring in Commonwealth Financial Chief Investment Officer Brad McMillan. Get rid of? Okay, right now, tell us what the turkeys are that you say jettison right now.
Two turkeys, consumer staples and utilities. Both are growing slowly, they're expensive, and the world is changing.
What if, though, you bought Verizon, you bought some of these and thought a year ago, yay, these have got to do well at some point. You really want to sell at a loss like this?
What better time? You've got tax planning going on. You've got other sectors that are doing well. You know, now is the time to start thinking about next year.
How do you decide where to trim the fat in a portfolio? Give us your kind of checklist of what you look for before you decide to get rid of a stock that you've held for a while.
I look at what's expensive. I look at what is growing. And I look at the relationship. Am I paying good money? Is it likely to go up? And neither of those meet those tests.
Which sectors do you feel are really at an opportunistic moment for investors who might be watching right now?
I like financials. You have interest rates poised to rise. The Fed has been very clear about that. And you have regulation going down again. Two tailwinds.
Speaking of what appears to be a rate hike in December, and the Fed funds futures are very high. This is where they bid and bet on the opportunity, or I guess the chance that we will see another rate hike. It looks like it's going to happen. We just got a piece of data, Brad, earlier today, and that would be the PPI, the Producer Price Index. For those of you who don't know what that is, it gives you a sense of inflation at the wholesale level. And we saw a big bump up here. I believe it's the biggest annual increase in 5.5 years. That's what the Fed's looking for, inflation, correct?
That's exactly right. And that's just going to give them a little bit more push to say, yeah, we need to raise rates.
And that makes money a little bit more expensive to borrow, and that helps the banks. What about the savers out there? Do you ever hear from your investors who say, man, I'm not ready to buy any stock right now. Why couldn't I just park it in a money market? Years ago, these things gave us 6% return.
All the time. And, you know, the real question is, why can't I get a decent return from bonds? Why can't I get the returns I did? Well, that was normal, and maybe the Fed is really trying to get us back to normal, and that's something I think is another tailwind. Savers need to be paid.
Yeah, well, in the meantime, they're pushed into stocks. You say energy and financials. Good to see you, sir. Thank you so very much, Brad McMillan. There's the closing bell. GE closing around a 6-year low. The major averages end the day lower, but well off session lows. That'll do it for the Claim and Countdown. See you tomorrow.